Hi guys, so I wanted to make a video about Charlie Kirk. And for those who don't know who Charlie Kirk is, he was kind of a right-wing debater who would go to various universities in America and more recently in the UK to debate about politics and economics and all sorts of different things. And most considered him as a far-right guy. And he had some controversial opinions that people obviously disagreed with. Now, I disagreed with a lot of his opinions too, but obviously I never wished harm on him. And I think that lies in a really big problem because your right to free speech should supersede that for people's right to be offended, as long as your opinion isn't inciting violence. Charlie Kirk's opinions weren't inciting violence. They were basically encouraging this idea of, Christianity and caring for each other and certain political views that were I didn't agree with. I think one was, I think abortion should be legal, for example. I think there are circumstances that women obviously should have the right to, have an abortion, but stuff like that. Abortion is a very extreme example, but, extreme examples get the point across. He represented the ability to speak your opinion on the far right. Now, it's quite relevant because in the UK, the country that I live in, 18th of September 2025, Tommy Robinson has been doing protests or marches to London and inciting lots of protests in different cities because people's voices aren't being heard in this country. They can't say their opinion because, the UK has a very difficult time right now with free speech because certain words can't be used. You can't have certain opinions here, or it's got to be said the right way at least, because if it isn't, then you can be arrested. Hate crimes and so on. And so basically you're creating this massive group of people who want to have their voices heard. Now, in the UK, that comes with a risk of having police knock on your door. Obviously, in America, as we've seen, when you have an opinion on something, there's a good chance you could be assassinated. And that is a problem because essentially what we're creating is this tug of war where extreme events happen as a result of policies and events like this, where eventually that rope will break. And when that rope breaks, UK, for example, we're talking about civil war, and the Charlie Kirk situation, that's creating more violence, vengeance. This is the problem because you got people on the far left, or what identifies the far left, who are saying they're celebrating this. They're like, fantastic, this guy's unalived, which is crazy, and that shouldn't happen. And I do believe those people should be apprehended for that in terms of losing their jobs and stuff, not their freedom, because they should have the right to free speech. But they should be arrested, but they should lose their jobs. When they represent a company and stuff like that, and if that company doesn't want to be adhered to someone with those opinions, then obviously that person should lose their job. Absolutely. And as much as I disagree with Charlie Kirk, he had a right for those opinions, and I enjoyed listening to him because I learned from him because I learned a different side of a different perspective, which I disagreed with. And you only learn with different perspectives. Whether you agree with them or not, it doesn't matter. And also, I want to reiterate, he didn't incite violence. Very important, because you've got other prominent speakers Tommy Robinson, for example, who does have a history of violence. You have people like Andrew Tate, who used to abuse both men and women, used to have a webcam industry stuff. But these are prominent speakers that have problems as a result of expressing themselves, good or for worse. I don't see the end result of this. That tug of war I mentioned earlier that's going to break, in the UK, that's been referenced as a civil war. You've got Elon Musk, who literally said, fight or die, which is crazy. No one should die for speaking their opinion, nor should they be encouraged to do so. I do believe that open discourse and debate can resolve this, but not when you create policies like in the UK that stop that, or when you use violence in America where it involves guns. That's just my opinion. And I wish Charlie Kirk, I hope he's in a better place, resting peacefully. I wish his family all the best. I know it's absolutely disgusting what they went through. I wish him the best. And we've lost a good one, I didn't like him particularly, but he was a good guy, so... But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, guys. If you like more videos like this, let me know. But yeah, thanks.